So the future is pretty bright. But let's do one thing. Let's talk about the tractor sales that came in from M&M just a while back. It's looking good, actually. Total tractor sales went up by 18% year on year. Domestic tractor sales were up 20%. And the company has seen record tractor sales in FY23 to the tune of 4.07 lakh units, which is a growth of 15%. Hemant Sikka joins in. He's the president of the farm equipment sector. Mr. Sikka, good morning and thanks a lot for joining in. 15% growth is what you saw in FY23. Do you think it will be easy to replicate that in FY24, given that, there are several concerns, primarily the concern being the impending slowdown in monsoons? How do you think all of that would hit growth?
Thank you, Sonia. So first of all, April, the month of March has been very strong for us. I mean, we have been able to clock almost 33,600 units, which is a growth of 20%. The industry has been only clocking a growth of only 12%. So overall, I think it has been very, very good for us.
Will it remain good is the question now, Mr. Sikka. Good morning, Prashant here. Because of, the unseasonal rains that we are seeing, the damage to crops, which is reports are coming through across states. It's coming from Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, wheat crops, widespread sort of devastation. In states like Maharashtra, we are seeing that. So what is your assessment from the ground, sir?
No, see, Prashant, what happens is that India is a very large country. And mostly in every year, we get issues like this in a couple of states. Even now, if you see it's pockets of Rajasthan, UP, North Gujarat, that we have issues like that. So overall, at an aggregate level, I don't think that the demand will be impacted that much.
Sir, just coming back to one point you made about the month of March, you said that it has been very strong for you. But overall, for the full year, can you give us any indication of how things would go? 15% may be hard to replicate, but are you looking at 10% growth for the industry as well as for yourself? Is it going to be double digits, or do you think single digits is something that will be feasible? Any outlook?
Yeah, so Sonia, FY23, as you know, has been very, very strong for the industry. When I spoke to you a few months back, we were talking about a growth of about 5 to 6%. Then we upped the guidance to about 7 to 8%. Finally, the industry has been very strong, clocking all-time high growth of 9,45,000 units, which is a growth of 12%. Very happy to share with you that the Mahindra growth has been 16% over this. So we have got some valuable share point gain. Our market share is upwards of 41%, and we have gained 1.2% market share in the whole of FY23. So overall, the industry has been very strong. Our performance for both our brands, Mahindra and Swaraj, has been very strong. And we believe that going forward, with the kind of cash flow that we are seeing with the farmers, the industry should remain positive. Let me also speak about what are the factors which have influenced this growth in FY23. As we spoke last time, Nigel, with you, that the monsoon for the last 4 years has been above normal. Now, this has never happened since the time records are kept, that is since independence. And if you see the reservoir levels, that is also running at a very high level. So as a result, the cropping has been very strong. The output, crop output has been very strong. The mandi prices are kind of being very firm. And let me also thank the government, because the government has been also upping the MSP. This year also the MSP for key crops has been in upwards of 5 to 9%, depending on various crops. So all of this has led to very strong cash flow with the farmers. And what were the farmers doing? I think farmers are also putting this cash flow to good use, because they are kind of investing into assets which are income generating. A tractor, a farmer considers tractors like another earning member in the household. So rather than putting this money aside for other discretionary expenses, that farmers are putting this money to buy tractors so that they have an earning kind of asset in their households. So this has kept the demand very strong. And we believe that since the Rabi output is going to be very strong, I know, Prashant, you spoke about few pockets here and there where we have had some unseasonal rains, which is unfortunate. But in a country like India, which is a very large agri country, this year or that year, these kind of things do happen. But at aggregate level, the demand is not impacted, at least for the tractor industry. So going forward, we are very optimistic that with all these positive factors, with the government support continuing in an election year, I think the industry should do very
well. Could you put out a volume growth guidance for tractors in 24 over 23? I was looking at a ICICI Securities note. They are saying, and this is their finding, they say in the last 15 years, on 4 occasions of El Nino, tractor volumes have fallen by an average of 12%. I think a couple of months back, tractor volume growth expectations were between 6 and 7% for FY24. Has that changed for you? Would you like to put out a number, sir?
Prashant, we will not like to put out a number and give you my reason for that. See, right now, the data on El Nino is all kind of very, very half-cooked data. You know, there is something called a spring predictability barrier. Now, that is not letting the entire ENSO data to come in and where we can make some positive or negative indication. I think we'll have to wait till middle of April. Prashant, you know, these are the times of social media. Everybody wants to be first off the block. Even if it is the data is half-cooked, the data is not very reliable at this stage. I would rather take a step back, wait for the reliable data to come in, which is just like 2 weeks away. And then we can make a call whether El Nino will be weak, moderate, strong, what kind of intensity the El Nino will play. Having an El Nino is not so negative, let me tell you, if it is a weak El Nino or a moderate El Nino. Still, the rainfall will not be impacted too much. So I think we should wait for middle of April or third week of April to get reliable data. And then we can always come back and share more, what's happening on the ground, how are the farmers feeling, what is the cash flow, what is the sentiment with the farmers. I think all these factors play very well into the rural agri economy.
All right. Hi, Mr. Sikka. I wanted to ask you about the inventory in the system. What is it at currently and what's the normal levels, if you could compare that?
So, Nazil, one of our strong point for Mahindra and Swaraj, both our brands has been a very strict control on inventory levels. So currently we are running an inventory level close to 4 weeks. This is a long-term average and we continue to maintain that. So I am not too concerned with the inventory at this stage. In fact, last year, going into the new year, I was concerned that we were running at very, very low inventory level. But since we did not have any supply chain concern through the year, we have been able to build up a little bit of more inventory. So now we are at a long-term average, which is about 4 weeks of inventory for us.
There are some new regulations, right? The TREM 4 regulations for higher than 50 HP segment. They have been implemented now. What is the impact that would have on growth rates, and any indication of when the regulations for the rest of the tractors would be implemented as well? And what would the impact be on the industry?
Sonia, thank you for asking me this question, because this has been a very, very important change in the emission for the industry, and the entire industry has migrated very well without any hiccup. So just to for your viewers to know that on 1st of January this year, we have moved to TREM 4 emission level only for tractors 50 HP and above. So all the tractors which are up to 50 HP, nothing changes for the industry for that. So only for tractors above 50 HP have we gone for one level emission up, which is only 7% of the overall industry. So 93% of the industry is actually below 50 HP, where nothing changes. The whole industry has taken the switch. For both our brands, Mahindra and Swaraj, we have gone ahead. We have sold thousands of new tractors into the market. I think the price has got very well established, and farmers are liking the kind of product that we have come up with. So I see absolutely no concern. Now we are almost 4th month running into this change. So overall things are looking very well for us. The next change is actually called the TREM 5 change, which is still some time away. And as TMA, we are very actively engaged with the government to see what is the kind of roadmap that the government will like us to follow. So currently it's TREM 4, which is only for 50 HP and above.
Okay, all right. So 90% you're saying is below the 50 HP segment. So there's no major impact that you're seeing because of these changes.
Yes.
Got that. Mr. Sikka, appreciate your thoughts. As always, great speaking with you to understand what's happening in the tractor market. And as you said, you're not going to give us any guidance for FY24 because of the unpredictability of the monsoon season. We get that entirely. But congratulations on a decent set of numbers that you've clocked in.